Avatar 2009 na movie. Avatar is a 2009 na science fiction movie directed by James Cameron. It is known for its groundbreaking use of 3D technology and motion capture, which allowed for the creation of realistic-looking alien creatures and environments. The film tells the story of a paraplegic marine named Jake Sully, who is sent to the distant planet of Pandora to infiltrate the native Na'vi tribe and convince them to relocate so that a mining company can extract a valuable mineral. However, Jake ends up falling in love with a Na'vi woman named Neytiri and becomes embroiled in a conflict between the humans and the Na'vi. Avatar was a massive commercial success, grossing over $2.7 billion worldwide and becoming the highest-grossing movie of all time until it was surpassed by Avengers: Endgame. Titanic was built by the Harland and Wolff shipyard in Belfast, Northern Ireland, and was one of 3 ships in the Olympic class. It was the largest ship of its time, measuring 882 feet, 269 meters long and 175 feet, 53 meters high. The ship was equipped with the latest technology of the time, including wireless telegraphy and electric lighting, and was considered to be unsinkable by many. The Titanic set sail from Southampton on April 10, 1912, and made stops in Cherbourg, France, and Queenstown, now known as Cobh, Ireland, before heading across the Atlantic. The ship had a total of 2,223 passengers and crew on board, including some of the wealthiest people in the world, as well as many immigrants seeking a new life in America. On the night of April 14, 1912, the Titanic struck an iceberg and began to take on water. Despite efforts to save the ship, it sank in the early hours of April 15, 1912. Only 710 people survived the disaster, while 1,517 lost their lives. Many of those who perished were third-class passengers, who were unable to access the lifeboats due to the ship's design. The sinking of the Titanic was a major news event at the time and led to widespread changes in maritime safety regulations. It also spawned numerous books, films, and other cultural references. The wreck of the Titanic was discovered in 1985, lying more than 12,000 feet 3,660 meters below the surface of the North Atlantic. Since then, several expeditions have been carried out to explore the wreck site and retrieve artifacts. The Titanic has become a symbol of human hubris and the dangers of overconfidence in technology. It continues to fascinate people around the world and is a popular subject of study and inquiry. Star Wars: The Force Awakens is the 7th episode in the Star Wars saga, released in 2015. Here are some detailed facts about the movie. Plot: The Force Awakens takes place 30 years after the events of Return of the Jedi. The film follows a new group of heroes, including Rey, Finn, and Poe Dameron, as they try to find Luke Skywalker and stop the evil First Order. Cast: The film features a mix of new and returning cast members. Returning actors include Harrison Ford as Han Solo, Carrie Fisher as Leia Organa, and Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker. The new cast includes Daisy Ridley as Rey, John Boyega as Finn, and Oscar Isaac as Poe Dameron. Director: The Force Awakens was directed by J.J. Abrams, who also co-wrote the screenplay with Lawrence Kasdan. Box office: The film was a huge commercial success, grossing over $2 billion worldwide. It was the highest-grossing film of 2015 and the third highest-grossing film of all time at the time of its release. Critical reception: The Force Awakens received mostly positive reviews from critics, with many praising the performances of the new cast members and the nostalgic feel of the film. However, some critics felt that the movie relied too heavily on nostalgia and did not take enough risks. Musical score: The film's musical score was composed by John Williams, who also composed the music for the previous Star Wars films. The score features new themes for the film's new characters as well as classic themes from the original trilogy. Production: The Force Awakens was produced by Lucasfilm and distributed by Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures. The film was shot on 35mm film using a mix of practical and digital effects. Legacy: The Force Awakens was the first Star Wars film released after Disney's acquisition of Lucasfilm in 2012. It kickstarted a new era of Star Wars films, including 2 sequels, The Last Jedi, and The Rise of Skywalker, as well as several spin-off films, such as Rogue One and Solo. Awards: The Force Awakens was nominated for 5 Academy Awards, including Best Original Score and Best Visual Effects. It won 1 award for Best Visual Effects. Themes: The Force Awakens explores themes of family, identity, and the struggle between light and dark. The film also introduces new ideas such as the concept of the Force being something that can be awakened in people who were previously unaware of their abilities. Avengers Endgame. Avengers Endgame is a superhero film released in 2019, produced by Marvel Studios and distributed by Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures. It is the 22nd film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe (MCU) and a sequel to 2018's Avengers: Infinity War. The movie was directed by Anthony and Joe Russo, with a screenplay by Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely. Here are some detailed facts about Avengers Endgame. The movie was released on April 26, 2019, and had a runtime of 3 hours and 2 minutes. The cast of the movie includes Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark Iron Man, Chris Evans as Steve Rogers Captain America, Mark Ruffalo as Bruce Banner Hulk, Chris Hemsworth as Thor, Scarlett Johansson as Natasha Romanoff Black Widow, Jeremy Renner as Clint Barton Hawkeye, Don Cheadle as James Rhodes War Machine, Paul Rudd as Scott Lang Ant-Man, and Brie Larson as Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel. The plot of the movie follows the surviving members of the Avengers and their allies who worked to reverse the damage caused by Thanos in Infinity War. The movie was a critical and commercial success, grossing over $2.798 billion worldwide, making it the highest-grossing film of all time until 2019. It also received positive reviews from critics, with many praising its emotional impact, action sequences, and the performances of the cast. The movie features several time-traveling scenes which allowed the Avengers to revisit and alter events from previous MCU films. Avengers Endgame marks the final appearance of several MCU characters, including Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man and Chris Evans as Captain America. The film also introduces several new characters to the MCU, including Catherine Langford as an older version of Tony Stark's daughter, Morgan. The movie features several nods and references to previous MCU films, including the first Iron Man film and the first Avengers film. The soundtrack for the film was composed by Alan Silvestri, who also composed the score for Infinity War and several other MCU films. The movie was nominated for numerous awards, including an Academy Award for Best Visual Effects, which it won. Overall, Avengers Endgame was a significant event in the MCU and provided a satisfying conclusion to the story arc that had been built over the previous 22 films. It is widely regarded as one of the best superhero movies ever made and a cultural phenomenon that will be remembered for years to come. 3. Jurassic Park is a 1993 science fiction adventure film directed by Steven Spielberg and based on the novel of the same name by Michael Crichton. Here are some facts about the movie. The movie was a box office sensation and grossed over $1 billion worldwide. The film's groundbreaking visual effects were achieved through a combination of animatronics and CGI. The film was one of the first to use CGI extensively and helped usher in a new era of visual effects in Hollywood. The film's iconic theme music was composed by John Williams, who has also composed the scores for many other famous films, including Star Wars and Jaws. The film won 3 Academy Awards for Best Sound Editing, and Best Visual Effects. The main dinosaur in the movie, the T-Rex, was portrayed by a combination of animatronics and CGI. The animatronic T-Rex weighed over 12,000 pounds and was operated by a team of puppeteers. The film was shot on location in Hawaii and California. Jurassic Park spawned 2 sequels, The Lost World, Jurassic Park, and Jurassic Park the Third, as well as a new trilogy that began with Jurassic World in 2015. The movie was based on Michael Crichton's 1970 novel of the same name, which was inspired by the advancements in genetic engineering at the time. The film's cast includes Sam Neill, Laura Dern, Jeff Goldblum, Richard Attenborough, Martin Ferrero, and Bob Peck. Jurassic Park was a cultural phenomenon that had a major impact on popular culture in the 1990s, and its influence can still be felt in movies and TV shows today. The Lion King is a 1974 na American animated musical film produced by Walt Disney Feature Animation and released by Walt Disney Pictures. Here are some detailed facts about the movie. Plot: the story follows the journey of Simba, a young lion cub who is heir to the throne of his father Mufasa, as he learns about responsibility and bravery after the death of his father. The film was directed by Roger Allers and Rob Minkoff, with a screenplay written by Irene Mecchi, Jonathan Roberts, and Linda Wolverton. It was produced by Don Hahn and has a musical score composed by Hans Kast. The voice cast includes Matthew Broderick as Simba, James Earl Jones as Mufasa, Jeremy Irons as Scar, Moira Kelly as Nala, Nathan Lane as Timon, Ernie Sabella as Pumbaa, and Rowan Atkinson as Zazu. Release: The Lion King was released on June 15, 1994, and became the highest-grossing film of the year, grossing over $987 million worldwide. It also won 2 Academy Awards for Best Original Song Can You Feel the Love Tonight, and Best Original Score. Soundtrack: the film's soundtrack features songs written by Elton John and Tim Rice, including Circle of Life, I Just Can't Wait to Be King, Hakuna Matata, and Can You Feel the Love Tonight. Reception: the film was widely acclaimed by critics, with many praising its animation, music, and storytelling. It has since become a cultural phenomenon and has been adapted into a Broadway musical, a sequel, and a live-action remake. Legacy: The Lion King has had a significant impact on popular culture and has been parodied, referenced, and homaged in numerous films, TV shows, and music videos. It is considered one of Disney's greatest animated films and has been ranked as one of the best animated films of all time. Black Panther is a 2018 American superhero film produced by Marvel Studios and distributed by Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures. It is the 18th film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe (MCU) and was directed by Ryan Coogler. Here are some detailed facts about Black Panther. The movie was released on February 16, 2018 and has a runtime of 134 minutes. The cast of the movie includes Chadwick Boseman as T'Challa, Black Panther, Michael B. Jordan as Eric Killmonger, Lupita Nyong'o as Nakia, Danai Gurira as Okoye, Martin Freeman as Everett K. Ross, Daniel Kaluuya as Wakabi, Letitia Wright as Shuri, Winston Duke as Mabako, and Angela Bassett as Ramonda. The movie takes place after the events of Captain America: Civil War, and follows T'Challa, the King of Wakanda, as he becomes the Black Panther and deals with the challenges of ruling his country while facing threats from outside and within. The film is notable for its predominantly black cast and crew, with Coogler, Boseman, and Jordan being black. The movie features several references to African culture, including the use of African languages, traditional clothing, and music. The soundtrack for the film was produced by Kendrick Lamar and features several popular songs, including All the Stars by Lamar and SZA. Black Panther was a critical and commercial success, grossing over $1.3 billion worldwide and receiving widespread praise for its portrayal of black culture and its themes of identity, family, and community. The movie was nominated for several awards, including 7 Academy Awards, and won 3, including Best Costume Design, Best Production Design, and Best Original Score. Black Panther was also groundbreaking in terms of representation in the superhero genre, and its success paved the way for other diverse superhero films, such as Captain Marvel and Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. The film has a post-credits scene that sets up the events of Avengers: Infinity War. Overall, Black Panther was a significant cultural and cinematic achievement that broke barriers and proved that diversity and representation can be successful in Hollywood. It is regarded as one of the best superhero films ever made and a cultural phenomenon that will be remembered for years to. Frozen is a 2013 animated musical film produced by Walt Disney Animation Studios. The film was directed by Chris Buck and Jennifer Lee, and it is based on the Hans Christian Andersen fairy tale, The Snow Queen. Frozen tells the story of two sisters, Elsa and Anna, who live in the kingdom of Arendelle. Elsa has the power to control ice and snow, but her powers have caused her to become isolated from society. Idina Menzel voices Elsa, while Kristen Bell voices Anna. The film features several popular songs, including Let It Go, which was written by Robert Lopez and Kristen Anderson Lopez and won the Academy Award for Best Original Song. Frozen was a critical and commercial success, grossing over $1.2 billion worldwide and becoming the highest-grossing animated film of all time. The film also won the Academy Award for Best Animated Feature and Best Original Song, as well as the Golden Globe Award for Best Animated Feature. Frozen has inspired a Broadway musical adaptation, a Disney on Ice show, and a sequel, Frozen 2, which was released in 2019. The success of Frozen has also led to the creation of a franchise that includes merchandise, theme park attractions, and a television series. The film has been praised for its animation, music, and themes of sisterhood and self-acceptance. The Dark Knight is the second installment in director Christopher Nolan's Batman trilogy, following Batman Begins, 2005. The film was released on July 18, 2008, and went on to gross over $1 billion worldwide, becoming the fourth highest-grossing film at the time. The late actor Heath Ledger won a posthumous Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor for his role as the Joker in the film. Ledger passed away before the film's release. Aaron Eckhart portrayed Harvey Dent Two-Face in the film, with his transformation from heroic district attorney to tragic villain being a major plot point. Christian Bale returned as Bruce Wayne Batman, with Gary Oldman reprising his role as Jim Gordon and Morgan Freeman as Lucius Fox. The film's iconic opening bank robbery sequence was shot in IMAX format, making it the first major motion picture to use IMAX cameras. The Dark Knight's costume was redesigned for the film, with a more streamlined and tactical look. The film's score was composed by Hans Zimmer and James Newton Howard, with Zimmer receiving an Academy Award nomination for Best Original Score. Several notable actors made brief appearances in the film, including Eric Roberts as mob boss Salvatore Maroni, Michael Jai White as gang leader Gamble, and Anthony Michael Hall as TV news reporter Mike Engel. The Dark Knight was praised for its complex themes, excellent performances, and stunning action sequences, and is widely regarded as one of the best superhero films ever made. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 is the second half of the film adaptation of J.K. Rowling's book, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. Here are some detailed facts about the movie. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 was released on July 15, 2011. The movie was directed by David Yates, who had also directed the previous three Harry Potter movies. The movie stars Daniel Radcliffe as Harry Potter, Emma Watson as Hermione Granger, and Rupert Grint as Ron Weasley. The movie begins with Harry, Ron, and Hermione continuing their quest to find and destroy the remaining Horcruxes, objects containing pieces of Voldemort's soul. The trio breaks into Gringotts Wizarding Bank and steals one of the Horcruxes, a golden cup. They then return to Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry to destroy the final Horcrux and confront Voldemort. The Battle of Hogwarts takes place where Harry, Ron, Hermione, and their friends fight against Voldemort and his Death Eaters. Many beloved characters are killed during the battle, including Fred Weasley, Remus Lupin, Nymphadora Tonks, and Severus Snape. Harry finally destroys the final Horcrux, a snake that belongs to Voldemort, and faces Voldemort in the final showdown. Harry defeats Voldemort by destroying the Elder Wand, the one that Voldemort believed would make him unbeatable. The movie ends with an epilogue set 19 years later, where we see Harry, Ron, Hermione, and their families sending their children off to Hogwarts. The movie received critical acclaim and was a commercial success, grossing over $1.3 billion worldwide. The movie was nominated for 3 Academy Awards, including Best Art Direction, Best Visual Effects, and Best Makeup, and won the latter 2 categories.